Combattants.
Tous ensemble pour la libération du Cameroun.
C'est bon. Mesdames et messieurs, nous savons très bien que ça fait 8 mois que nous sommes entrés fermement dans cette bataille, cette révolution, résistance, appelons-le comme nous voulons. Mais le comité d'organisation de l'assaut final a pensé qu'il était juste que nous nous arrêtions un peu pour se questionner. Question de faire une évaluation, ce que nous appelons un bilan. Est-ce que, à l'échelle où nous nous trouvons, à l'heure où nous nous trouvons, est-ce que le combat va bien? Qu'est-ce qui ne marche pas? Qu'est-ce qu'on peut ajouter? Comment est-ce que nous pouvons recadrer les choses? La générale Madikom invitée pour nous faire ce bilan-là. Et de toute façon, général Madikom, tu as une flore.
Hello, Brussels! Yes! Are you ready? Bonsoir tout le monde. C'est un peu calme, c'est trop calme. Je sais que nous avons traversé des difficultés, mais il est important que nous célébrions nos victoires. Nous avons connu des victoires, nous avons connu certainement beaucoup de défaites. Avant de commencer, j'ai préparé quelque chose à dire. Mais pour ceux qui me connaissent, vous savez, je ne sais pas toujours me tenir la ligne. Alors, très souvent, je préfère dire ce qui me vient du fond du cœur. Parce que j'ai rejoint ce combat du fond du cœur. Alors, avant de commencer mon propos, j'aimerais dire merci à tout le monde dans l'assistance. Merci pour ceux qui sont venus de loin d'être là. Merci à tous ces éminences assis à cette table. Je suis ravie d'oser m'asseoir tout à côté de vous et de juste dire mon mot, le mot d'une femme, d'une mère, d'une sœur, d'une épouse, d'un enfant, d'une amie, n'est-ce pas? Le mot qui est le mot de toutes ces femmes, le mot de toutes ces Amazones. Je voudrais demander à toutes les Amazones, toutes les femmes dans l'assistance, levez-vous juste pour qu'on crie un hurrah! Oh. Merci bien. Avec la même force que vous utilisez tous les jours pour porter vos enfants, pour enfanter, pour soutenir leurs caprices, pour calmer quand ça va mal. Avec cette même force, vous avez réussi à porter ce combat jusqu'au niveau où il se trouve. Et avec la même force, la même dédication, vous allez réussir à libérer notre pays. Paul Biya dit qu'il a toujours vu, mais il a trouvé femme. Il a trouvé femme. Elle s'appelle Grace, Doris, Savannah, Salomène, Caroline, Hélène, Michel. Tous ces noms que vous entendez tous les jours, c'est la volonté, c'est le désir de libérer un pays qui a souffert depuis sa pseudo-indépendance jusqu'à nos jours. Et ce que femme veut, Dieu le veut. Est-ce que vous avez vu toutes ces femmes? Vous avez vu leur détermination, n'est-ce pas? Vous avez vu la queen là-bas? Est-ce que vous avez vu la comtesse? nous savons nous exprimer. Je voudrais encore qu'on donne encore, que vous applaudissez pour notre reine de cœur. J'ai nommé ici Maître nous. Vous savez, il faut être une vraie reine, une vraie déesse. Moi, de mon village de l'autre côté aux États-Unis d'Amérique, j'ai vu cette dame dehors, tôt le matin, tard la nuit, pour défendre des Amazones déterminés, qui ne prennent pas non pour une réponse. Et ça, il faut une reine pour faire cela. Maintenant que la salle est réveillée, et selon les règles du blanc, permettez-moi de lire mon bord. Hello, fellow Cameroonians and Southern Cameroonians and friends of Cameroon. It is truly an honor to be here in Brussels. My name is Madikom, and I hail from the great state of Maryland, in the United States of America. Before I say anything, I would love to express my admiration to the members of the European Union, who were one of the first to step up and say something, at least something, about the struggle in the northwest and the southwest of Cameroon. For that, we are very thankful. I would also love to thank the United States of America, the Congress, for passing Resolution 358, asking for a ceasefire, asking for all-inclusive dialogue, asking for the release of prisoners without preconditions. And I'm also glad that after that, and after the hard work of all the sons and daughters of Cameroon, the Senate of the United States of America has now introduced a bipartisan resolution 292, RESS 292, asking for all of the same. I know this is not all we want, but at least it's a beginning. For that, we are very thankful. We will continue this fight, but we know at this time words aren't enough anymore. We need more than words. And this, I must say, we expect more and better from all of the international organizations. But most importantly, we expect more from ourselves. Because to whom much is given, much is expected. So as we are sitting here tonight, we represent those who are here. And my message for all of us is that we remember that we will be treated the way we present ourselves. So before we ask for help from whomever, we need to help ourselves by showing higher standard. So now here, if there is anyone who still doubts that with the Cameroon diaspora, all things are possible, who still wonders if the dreams of our ancestors who fought and paid the ultimate price for freedom and independence is alive in our times, who still question the power of our democracy, this is your answer. The fact that we are able to gather here as one people, forget what divides us, and remember most importantly, what unites us. Because as people, We share a common destiny. Even if we belong to two entities, call it La République, call it Amazonia, but guess what? We share the same soil, we share the same ground, and it is worth fighting for with all our might. This is the answer told by all the crowds in the streets of Paris, London, New York, Washington, Dakar, Douala, Boya, Marwa, Bafoussam, Konsamba, Brussels, Rome, Johannesburg, Toronto, Montreal, Alberta, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, even in churches and also in jails, like what happened in June in the central prison of Colombia. Those were the voices of all the sons and daughters of Cameroon. And that's how far we've grown. That's how far we've come along. Who knew that we could speak truth to power and still be alive? They can arrest us, they can molest us, but we will keep fighting until the last one of us standing. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I'm here calling on us not to cease to discouragement. Anytime you want to cease to die, remember the grass in Paris. Remember all of those folks on the streets of Paris. And remember the story we told the French people and the international community on that day. If you ever want to cease to fear, remember Washington. Remember game over in Washington. We were great. We did well. So well that Mr. Trump sent two of his people to ask who is this in my front yard playing. And when they came out, we told them we weren't playing. We meant business. If you ever want to cease to discouragement, remember Genève 1 and Genève 2. And if you want to know if I'm telling the truth, ask the tiny little general, the woman sitting in the back, the one that never gets tired, that doesn't take no for an answer. I hear her call General Susan Ferrara.
On ne lâche pas. Dégage. Police Canto.
See the one right next to her? She can be witness to all her crimes. Of fire. Or putting up the great fire. Her name is Madikom-Brussels. And if you wonder how they told our stories, I want to remind you that they told our story by exposing a corrupt, crook, and genocidal regime in the face of the world. That's what they do. And they're good at it. They demonstrated how a revolving door is put in place to deprive us of our freedom of choice and expressions and our individuals and collective liberties. They spoke about the bloodshed happening in the northwest and southwest of Cameroon and how it could have been prevented. And what happens when people are deprived of their basic human rights. Cameroonians have no choice but resistance and self-defense. And also because Professor Campbell and a member of his cabinet stood up for justice, democracy, and human rights, we did too. We did too, not because of him as a person, but because of what he stands for. We stand for the same thing. We like his program on social justice, so don't ever get us wrong. The man told us not to fight for him, but for our own ideals. And that's what we're fighting for. We're fighting to set ourselves free, not to free him. I saw those people this morning. They are free, but we are not yet. That's why we must continue this fight. And for this, Professor Campbell, thank you for being such a great inspiration for our generation. Thank you for being a leader who leads by example and not demagogy and empty rhetoric. What we now demand, because our work is not done, so I must state it before I end my words here. We demand that all prisoners still be free and without prior conditions. We ask for the war to stop so our children can go to school. We cannot send children to school before we stop the war. That's what we call in French, mettre la charrue avant les bœufs. In all international negotiation settings, in all peace and conflict resolution settings, we know that in order to have a dialogue, right, we must, in order to cease fire, I beg your pardon, we must first have a dialogue. So when we throw the leaders of Southern Cameroon in jail for life, when the leaders of Francophone Cameroons are also in jail, so who is Mr. Biya going to be talking to? With himself? So that's why we are going to, this fight is not ending. So if you feel tired, remember all the things I want you to think about. I also want you to think about tonight. Why we're sitting here. We're sitting here to set common goals, to give this fight a new direction. We also are demanding strong actions from this European Union, because enough with the talks. We need actions. For you and I, those actions are not here now. It's in Cameroon. So as much as we are going to continue lobbying, seeking help, it is important that we start thinking about new strategies, developing strategies on how to fight back each time now that we get hit. I'm just giving you all a suggestion. I don't have the answers, but I know that at this stage of the struggle, things are stalling. So sometimes we seem confused. We seem not to know whether we are going right or left, or either whether we are moving forward. That's because it's come to time to take this struggle to the next stage. We've tried any type of dialogue possible. And so far, Mr. Bria and his cronies has shown us his own willingness to negotiate. He's putting our leaders in the slam, arresting youth, killing mothers, daughters, children. Are we going to sit by and watch and say, qu'est-ce qu'on va faire? So we must figure out a way forward. And that's why I am asking all of us that let's celebrate our accomplishment, because who knew that Mr. Biya would be in exile in his own country? Remember, the man used to live at Intercontinental in Geneva. And you all chased him out. That's why he's an asylum now in his own land. So that is a great achievement. But that's not enough. As long as he's still in power. This is the way I hope we think through to lead this revolution. But if we're just going to sit around here, then we're going to start fighting with each other. Not because we hate each other, but because we're frustrated. It seems like there's no way forward. The best way forward is consensus. We work in the United States with Amazonians all the time, doing peace and conflict resolution, mediation, in order to find what is it that we have in common, what can we fight for. We're planning on having a mass rally in New York on the 20th. That's because we do have common goals. We may have our disagreement, but we cannot forget those common goals. So, to conclude, I must say, it's been a long time coming. But tonight, because we share common goals and are bound by a common destiny, at this defining moment, as of now, it seems to bring a long-lasting positive change to the Cameroonian institutions. And its people. The institution first is what it changed in Cameroon. It needs to be out there and keep changing the people around managing. That's not what we need. We need the institution to change. We need real democracy. It's not about the people only. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Cameroonians, friends of Cameroon and Southern Cameroonians, let me thank all those who worked tirelessly to make this event possible. Some work at the forefront, some behind the scene. You all greatly appreciate it. I am humbled to be one of you. Thank you for all in this fight. We are stronger together. Long live the Republic of Cameroon. Long live the Cameroon diaspora. Remember this. The people united can never be defeated. Thank you very much.